sometimes a project doesn't die because someone hates the idea. It dies because a spreadsheet doesn't like the idea. Power Rangers is dead. Or at least that's what some people are saying. Disney Plus is no longer moving forward with its planned live action Power Rangers series. And yeah, that definitely sucks. Yeah, it's something weird. Crazy stuff happens. But I think we're making a mistake when we look at this news and say, that's it, Power Rangers is over. Because we've seen this story before. A show gets canceled, a license expires, a studio walks away, and suddenly fans think the entire franchise is disappearing. But Power Rangers is a little harder to kill than that. It's a crazy situation, so let's go back. Friday, I want to say, Deadline reported that Disney Plus is not proceeding with the planned live-action Power Rangers series. That project has been in development since the Netflix one. Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Slotts from Percy Jackson and the Olympians were attached to it. Hasbro was involved because they owned the property. This does not mean Disney has announced that the Power Ranger franchise is over, because they have technically no control of it. That's Hasbro. Hasbro would have to say that if they want to. Sometimes they just don't as well. It means that this particular project is not moving forward at Disney Plus. That's all this announcement means. Deadline also reports that the reason for more business and the reasons why it was canceled were more business and budgetary regions than anything creative. I mean, it's Power Rangers. It's going to be creative. So I could not see it being canceled for less than that. It happens, right? The issue is that high-end live-action superhero series costs a lot more to make than Disney, while Disney doesn't own that Power Rangers IP. Yeah, it's sad. We went through kind of different iterations of this type of cancelization. First we had the original one kind of like ending, and then we had promises from Hasbro or whoever else was going to do it that there's going to be another one, and then another one, and each one of those got canceled or got moved or pushed aside or something happened. And so stuff happens, stuff starts. When I first saw all this, my reaction was basically sad. It was like depressing just to see that, because we're fans of Tokusatsu, we're fans of all of this stuff, and I was excited when I first seen that, but then there's skepticism, like how's it going to do it without Super Sentai, or how's it going to do it without all this stuff, right, when it was first announced. In each one of those iterations of that before they got canceled, it was like that. And then it's depressing to see this reaction of like, oh my gosh, it's canceled. There was no hope. Technically, there's probably a lot of writing on the wall for that series to do any of that stuff, because you didn't hear anything from it. There was no visuals. Usually that stuff does take time, but you would want to see something or some type of look at it, and Hasbro would like to share something probably if they had anything, but they didn't. Like everyone else didn't have anything to share, and they just announced, oh, we didn't forget about it, oh, here it is, and nothing happened too much. But there is an interesting question with all of this stuff. Why does this show cost so much if the franchise already exists? Why would people just drop it, right? If it wasn't they say it was business or budgetary reasons, why? And that's something I don't know if we'll ever find out. It's crazy. Power Rangers is not just a TV show, right? It's an IP. It's an intellectual property. That's what IP stands for. And an IP costs money. Disney would have to spend money producing a large action superhero show Hasbro might be footing a lot of that bill, but Disney would still have to go on there and do something new. They would be heavily investing in something that it doesn't own, and that's something that Disney and a lot of other properties, find it hard to do. It happens. You certainly see it in other places, in movies, TV shows, in books, everything else, right? They go on and they purchase something and they think it'd be great for their audience and everything. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, and it fizzles out. Streaming economics has changed. So, right, traditional TV is almost towards the wayside and not going anywhere too much with production. And so I wouldn't say that as of now, 2026, it's like that. Could go down more in the future, which most assume so, but it also could go up. Depends on when you're watching this video. But a big budget show also needs enough viewers to justify the cost. You need people to watch it. You need those eyes. And if those eyes are not on you, I'm sorry to say, that show's going to get canceled. Even sometimes before it starts. Merchandising and licensing also matter. You have Playmates, who is now Playmate Toys, making like those TMNT ones for like years, are now doing Power Rangers. I mean, the merchandising and licensing do exist, but who's buying it? That's another question that you could always ask. Like, who's going to buy these toys? Does it have enough power to reach the kids? Because kids are the ones that technically they're making the toys for. This is their audience, not these, people like 20 to, 50-year-olds, even higher or older than that, watching this stuff. All of us collect all of that stuff and watch it and buy the stuff. But is that enough to actually move the needle, or do they need kids? The fact that a huge fan base doesn't automatically mean that it's also financially worth producing, right? You might have the biggest fan base at all, but is it worth it? You've seen many Marvel shows having them making them, and then people not watching them, but it's like, oh, it didn't well with them, right? And so they canceled it. Wonder Man was one of them. Wonder Man was like highly rated. People watched it, but then no season 2, even though they announced season 2. Weird stuff happens, and your fan base might be big enough, but it's not big enough to get all those financials in order and to pay those bills. So imagine you're Disney. You're being asked to spend a huge amount of money on a franchise you don't own. Like, you don't own it. So what happens? Do you want to take that risk? You don't own it. You don't control it. You don't have any of the stuff. You might have some consultation stuff. They might use your production studios. They might use a lot of things that you own, and you're still paying the bill. Like, how many people need to watch this before that investment makes sense? Sometimes a project doesn't die because someone hates the idea. It dies because a spreadsheet doesn't like the idea. There's money involved. But then there's another piece of this story, and kind of where things get a bit weirder. So this is all a little bit of reporting and conjecture right here. So take all of this probably with a grain of salt, but we don't know as of yet. So Hollywood insider Jeff Snyder, I don't know who he is, so first time I heard of his name, but Jeff Snyder reported that Disney may be developing another superhero movie involving Matt Damon. Okay, that's normal. According to his reporting, the project involves a young cast, color-coded costumes, fighting kaiju, a superhero-like character played by Matt Damon, some type of AI assistant from reporting that I heard, and a concept that reportedly has obvious Power Ranger influences. That's interesting. Snyder also says the movie has no official connection to Power Rangers, but the comparison will almost certainly be made. So that's according to his sources on his podcast or his area called the Insniders. Now, this is just a report. We don't know why this is happening, and we don't know why this is because Disney walked away from the Power Rangers. It could be something other entirely. But another question to pose to you. If you're Disney, why pay for the Power Rangers when you can make your own version of that idea? So if this is true, why do that? But if you're a Power Ranger fan, you're going to be sitting there probably saying, wait a minute. Why do that? Disney Plus technically did have some stuff a while back that they were going to produce, and that didn't happen. Hasbro still owned it, and so it might get some weird in it. But I want to say with that, why are the fans panicking? Like, it's interesting. Fans also are reacting to the uncertainty of everything. Social media amplifies bad news. We know that Power Rangers is canceled, and it becomes Power Rangers is dead. The show isn't coming because there will never be another show. Fans start buying physical media. Of course, just like in my last video about Kuga. Fans want to preserve the franchise, which is honorary and very good, because you do want to watch it. You do want to show it to your kids. You want to show it to everyone else, because, hey, you're a fan of this. You want other people to appreciate that. I participated in that too. I bought Cougar when Kamen Rider Cougar when I heard about that licensing situation. So, I'm not above any of that stuff. I'm not sitting here above everyone else saying that I'm not the one. I am part of the problem. I have my dragon dagger, as you can see here. Let's see what else I have here. I have seasons 13 through 17 of Power Rangers on DVD, right? I am part of that problem. I do buy that stuff when I need to. But it's not unique to Power Rangers. As you can see, it happened with Power Rangers Kuga. Kamen Rider Kuga. People panic when physical media disappears. Streaming rights change. Games become digital only. A studio closes. Your favorite service shuts down. It's back in COVID. It's basically the entertainment version of everyone buying toilet paper during the pandemic. Except this time, I actually understand why people are doing it. The license is not the franchise, right? The license expiring does not necessarily mean that the property is gone forever. It means, a whole host of things. The contract expired. The company does not want to pay for that renewal cost. Another company gets the rights. Pseudo changes its strategy. And the economics no longer work. Like I said before, that spreadsheet killed the idea. Someone is waiting for that right opportunity, and they're not going to go with one studio, and they're going to go with another. You've seen what happened with Kamen Rider Kuga. It was taken off of Tokusatsu, their website on YouTube, right? And so they don't stream it anymore. They don't show it on YouTube free anymore. They're all 50 episodes gone. And the show disappearing from one YouTube channel caused fans, rightfully so, to wonder what was going on. But in reality, it's basically much more, less dramatic than that. Kamen Rider, less dramatic than most people were saying. Kamen Rider is disappearing from America. It's gone now does not equal it's gone forever. Media contracts are contracts. Media rights are contracts, and they are not tombstones. It does not mean something is dead. Look at the official Power Rangers YouTube channel. It still exists. They have full episodes, almost complete seasons, I believe, on there. You have, they're all available on YouTube. we have official YouTube content. There's full episodes on their live streams. There's old seasons. They have a huge library of stuff, clips from everywhere. You have just regular fan communities that, people can talk about. The comics that are still going on, toys that are still being continued to be made, games, Super Sentai as not continuing, but you could say in some points that Project Red succeeded it and is proving a different way forward. We don't know what's happening with Power Rangers, but Power Rangers can come back. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to mourn this version of the Power Rangers that people hyped in their head, that you hyped up in your head that it was going to be the best, or maybe it wasn't going to be the best, and it was something that, you just wanted to watch, right? It gave you that nostalgic piece of like growing up again. And true, I really wanted to see it. I really wanted to see what was going to go on. Would I watch the whole thing? I don't know. But as a fan of like kaiju or just like suits and suit designs and how things look and how things are made and camera angles and points of view and using all kinds of cool fun stuff to create that show, I would have loved to see that. And so you don't have to pretend that cancelization does not matter. But don't confuse the death of an idea for the death of a franchise. A franchise is technically still going on. Ideas don't die, they morph. Power Rangers has consistently changed throughout the years. Different teams, different tones, different networks, different owners. Let's see how many more difference I can do. Different generations. The franchise itself is basically built around transformation. So maybe Power Rangers comes back next year. Maybe it takes 5 years. Maybe the next version looks nothing like what we have expected. I don't know. I'm not going to have all the answers, and we're not going to have the answers sitting here ruminating and speculating. Neither does anyone else on social media pretending they know what is happening behind the closed doors. These are backroom shady deals as stuff happens. But I do know this. Power Rangers have been changing since 1993. It has survived cancelizations, reboots, movies, new owners, new networks, changing audiences. So I'm not ready to call it dead. Maybe it just needs to wait. And sometimes you just have to wait until you're needed again. After all, Zordon, maybe he had the right answer all along.
Alpha, Reader's Escape. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitude.
Maybe someday, someone will.